Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who listens in the podcast. It is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. I'm here to speak about some breaking news that happened a couple of days ago, but it's the shocking thing for me is that I haven't heard this in like more networks, and it's regarding the 200 missing children that were found during an operation. And it's just crazy to me. You know what it is? You know how many people go missing? And to have found 200 people, 200 children specifically, that to me is such a victory. I'm very surprised that it hasn't made like big news in like big networks. But before I continue, I want to say thank you again for everybody who listens in the podcast. Thank you to everybody who follows me on Spotify. Also, I do have the window open and you might hear some noises, so please bear with me. So let me tell you about this in case you haven't heard. And the thing is that I'm always telling you about like a missing person that we're talking about in my previous episode regarding the missing Taylor Casey from Chicago, who's missing right now in the Bahamas after going to a yoga retreat. And then I mentioned Nancy Ann, and then there's the young child from, I think it was New Jersey, Dulce, who disappeared in 2019 after just going to a park with her family. Those cases to me are like it's so hard. Like, how does somebody just disappear out of nowhere, right? And I always say to you guys, somebody always knows something because when you go, one thing I gotta say though, if you're watching this video, I do have an issue with the lighting here, specifically in the camera. So I am working on to fix that. So that's why it might be too bright and you might see me dealing with it in my eyes. So I do apologize about that. I am aware that there is a color issue, a camera lighting issue. I am aware of that. I'm working to fix it. But what I was saying about missing child, missing person in general, I cannot understand how somebody can just go missing still in 2024, where you walk into a store and you might not buy anything perhaps, and then you go home and then you get an email about something that perhaps while you were walking down the aisles you thought of buying, right? How do they know? How can they find you? How can they track you down? And they cannot track down somebody who's missing. Like, that to me is crazy. You go on Google and you can see like a photo of your home address, and perhaps you might see a photo of yourself outside of your home on Google Maps or something like that. And it's crazy to me. These are, when I hear about a missing person, it's crazy that this happened. And you know that behind every missing person, there's somebody who knows exactly what happened. And I have spoken many times about the Jennifer Dulos case too. And that to me, I'm still, even though like Michelle Turcones is in jail and all of that, got convicted, got sentenced, I still feel like she needs to tell us what happened exactly to her, to Jennifer Dulos. And I pray that one day she get to finally confess. But going back to these 200 children found, do you know how rare it is to find somebody who goes missing? I mean, Natalie Holloway, that, it those cases that you think about for so long and you're like, man, are we ever gonna know what happened to Natalie Holloway? And what, 20 years after, then he eventually confessed that what happened to her? How does somebody live like that? So when you find missing children, why is this not making more national news? Why are we not seeing videos of family being reunited once again with their kids that were missing? Why are not their faces coming across the TV saying, this person that you perhaps a year ago, 6 months ago, you saw a missing person poster, this person, this child was found safe. Why are we not getting that information? I don't understand it. Something else is happening here. Were they really missing, or were they adopted? Excuse me, I'm mispronouncing that word. But let me read to you briefly exactly what happened. A 6-week national operation found 200 missing children across the U.S., including children from Arizona. This operation name is called Operation We Will Find You. We Will Find You Too. It's the second of its kind. The operation spanned May 20th to June 24th, so just about a month, right? In a month, they found 200 missing children. Like, do they have a donation thing that we can donate money to them? Like, that is amazing. Who is behind this operation? Who's running it? I think it's amazing. It says here a news release from the Department of Justice read, with technical assistance from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the We Will Find You operation, saying, resulting in the recovery and removal of 123 children from dangerous situation. Glory to God. 123 children from dangerous situations, and an additional 77 missing children were located and found to be safe in locations, according to law enforcement of and child welfare agencies. Of the 200 missing children, one was a family adoption and one was a non-family adoption. The youngest child recovered was 5 months old. Oh my goodness, really? 5 months old child baby was found after being adopted. Uh, and that to me is just, this should be breaking news. Like, there should be like people reporting about it and speaking about it. We should be able to see the family coming together. What a joyful news this is. Why is this not being covered like in more bigger news? That's my concern. It's almost like, when there's they have the Amber Alert and all of that, and you always, you pray for the families, and you're like, I cannot believe this actually happened to them. Like I said, the case of Dulce from New Jersey, I always think about her. Like, this young child goes to the park with her family, and I know her mom was very young, and she probably got a lot of blame for it, but they have not found Dulce. Somebody knows what happened to her. So I pray every day, like, I hope they find this young girl. And if she's found, like, this should, like, it should be in all the news. But I'm saying, like, what a great news is for 200 families to say, hey, we found your child, we took your child out of a dangerous situation. Like, you know, it's always good to celebrate something good. Like, I don't understand why they're not covering this. It's almost like, who are they trying to cover? Whoever was behind this whole thing with the children? Was the money involved to silence people? Like, we find you doing something horrible, but it could be like a big celebrity or something. Who knows? We know all these celebrities are doing something evil, like P. Diddy, once again being sued by somebody regarding sex trafficking. And it's like, all these people, like, they do all these evil things behind closed doors, and that's why you have to be so careful. The music that you listen to, the TV shows that you watch, get to know, like, get more information about the artists that you follow, because here you are jamming to somebody's music, and what they do behind closed doors is like abuse women, hit people, and abuse children, and all of that. Like, it could be anything. And you're like jamming to their talent and listening to their music on repeat. You don't want to be doing something like that. If anything, you don't want to be doing supporting their music. And right, we don't know, right? Like, I don't know the person who, like, made this microphone. Like, I don't know that, right? But I'm saying, if you have the knowledge and the knowledge comes to you, then you really have no excuse than to stay away from that. So it's just crazy to me. 200 children. The youngest one was 5 months old. They were found safe and taken away from a dangerous situation. What an amazing news this is. Let me see if I can get more information about here. So the youngest one, like I said, 5 months old, and 14 of the children were found outside the city where they were missing. Additionally, of the missing children recovered, 57% were recovered within 7 days of the association assisting the case. The operation took place in Arizona cities such as Phoenix, Glendale, Goodyear, and Tucson. Cities in California, Florida, Michigan, North Carolina, New York, and Oregon were also part of the operation. The U.S. Marshals Service targeted areas that had a high cluster of missing and endangered children. In Arizona, there were 33 recoveries and 16 locates. It says here, we know that it's a 16-year-old female out of the Phoenix greater area that unfortunately looks like she was trafficked in Los Angeles and then in Miami and then she was recovered in Michigan. Like sometimes you hear about people saying, the missing children that you see out there, they're being used for sex trafficking. You're like that's crazy. But this is actually happening for real. This is what's going on behind closed doors. That is crazy, you guys. If you like, a lot of people are out there now going on vacation with their kids, school is out and all of that. Keep an eye on your kids. Don't leave your kids with just anybody. Out of convenience, out of, hey, they're so willing to, this neighbor is so willing to drop them off at school or something. You make sure you trust that person. People are doing crazy stuff. The evil in the world is crazy. I'm not saying not to trust people, I'm saying to just be more careful. When you go out to the stores and to the malls and all of that, and now, in a couple of weeks, people are going to begin to do the back to school shopping. Like, make sure if your child wants to go to a specific store, don't be like, okay, I'll meet you there. Make sure you go with your child. Like, people are crazy. Like, it's scary. This 14-year-old was trafficked in so many cities. Like she was, just being a normal child, and then she's adopted and taken away and just have to follow orders. That's crazy. These are children of God. And not only like God sees all the evil too. And sometimes I think about that. I'm like, the stuff that God sees is crazy. So we really have no excuse. If we see something or we suspect something, we should definitely do something about it. Right? Definitely do something about it. If we suspect something evil going on in our neighbors or something like that. Of the 49 cases in Arizona, investigators believe 8 were likely victims of trafficking. Speaking about trafficking and all of that, like I said, you hear about things like this and you're like, well, that's almost like to the extreme, right? I think about what's her name, Cassie Ventura, and I'm like, you look at her being beaten up by this fashion mogul, that this guy who influenced her admiration by so many people, and this is what he does to his girlfriend. And then after that, forcing her to be, to do crazy stuff with other people, and like forcing somebody to do things that they don't want to do is manipulation, is witchcraft, is demonic. That's not from the Lord. None of it is from the Lord. Regardless of people, a lot of these macho men, they're like, well, she has to obey me because this or the other. It's so crazy. And then when I was thinking about, when I read about the Cassie Ventura, right, back in December when the lawsuit began by her, I'm like, how can she be trafficked? Like, isn't this man around so many securities and people of influence? And that is the danger, because a lot of the times, everybody who they surround themselves with, they approve of that behavior. Like I say, how can you see something evil and not do anything about it? God is going to hold you accountable for that. So people think that, well, she's old enough. She says she doesn't like it. She can walk away. People of abuse and domestic abuse, they feel like there's no way out. And they feel like there's no way out, and they don't know like exactly how to go about it. And they're so manipulated. They're under like a spell of manipulation, I guess you can say, that they're so afraid. They walk on eggshells. They're so afraid to speak. They don't want to, offend that person because they might look happy in front of you until the doors close and they get to live with that person back home, and then they get bitten by perhaps saying, did you say something to your friend about me? Because that's the thing about people who do abuse. They never want for other people to discover who they truly are. So they do a good job of maintaining the reputation they're always having, saying the right things, and behind closed doors, they're evil monster, and it's so crazy. I also remember the case of Elizabeth Smart, man. I remember that case. What a joyful day to know when she got when they found her on the streets wearing that mask. That not back then it looked so abnormal, but now after going through the whole pandemic, it's really not. It doesn't look like abnormal. But when she got discovered, I think it was in 2003, it was like, wow, what, they definitely stood out because they're wearing masks, they're wearing these long gowns and head coverings. How can people not recognize that it was her? But I remember just being so happy that she was found and safe. And I know when they separated them, and put them in different cars, she was saying, no, that's not my name, I'm not Elizabeth Smart, because the manipulation, this man got into her head. I don't know how old she was, like 14 or something. This man got into her head, threatening her and saying, this is your name from now on. And then the police were able to identify her properly, and then they called her dad. It's just so amazing to see like good news like that. So this is definitely good news. I think I'm so happy there's so many other children, like, we're coming to rescue you. They're gonna be rescued, and God have mercy on these people who do that to children, who do that to adults, but to do that to innocent children, God have mercy on that. So let me know what you guys think about this, and about the 200 children being recovered after being missing. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and watching this on YouTube. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, Julissa Designs, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.